Welcome to ABL Hot Corner, not brought to you by Brent Heaver, and not brought to you by Tom Seaver, not brought to you by Petro Seven Seaver, brought to you by Viva. Okay, clothes.
Boris.
Stories of the round.
Well, some big ones.
Unbelievable. Kick it off for us.
Well, the bite swept the aces.
And the broom's out.
Who saw that coming, really?
No one.
No, not me.
No one, not me. Well, certainly in our picks, we didn't. I think you might have shaded me there. You might have gone for the split, and I think I went 3-1 aces.
Let's just not talk about them regardless.
Not even close.
That bad.
But yeah, massive for the bite. Away from home again, and they once again have the wood on the league-leading Melbourne Aces.
It's been amazing, and the crazy way that the standings work at the moment, that if the Aces get swept this week and the bite do sweep, suddenly we have a tie at the top, and Adelaide would get top spot based on head-to-heads. It's just amazing.
Absolutely nuts.
I mean,
and
chances of that happening are minimal, you would think, but it's there, so...
yeah, well, it makes it a little bit tasty for this round, doesn't it? Last round coming up.
Adds a bit more to it, yeah.
Adds a bit of spice for this weekend series. And yeah, the poor old Aces at home had the champagne on ice, just sitting there for 4 days, never got to pop it.
No, well, that's right. They were ready to rock and roll and just couldn't get over the line. They had their close ones at the end and just couldn't get a W basically at the end of the day.
I think pretty impressive. The bite played well all facets of the game. Certainly defensively they were outstanding, and that was a good set to get the sweep. So massive series there. What else did you get your eyes on over
speaking about sweeps,
the Banditos?
Banditos knocking off the heat. So that's pretty much making the final round ridiculously close. I mean, we're looking at Canberra, we're looking at Adelaide, we're looking at Brisbane, all within a couple of games, and there's going to be an unlucky team that misses out on blast.
Someone's going to miss out, and they're going to be pretty stiff. It's going to come down to like half a game or something that they're going to miss out by.
Well, and we're looking at Brisbane taking on Canberra, so that's going to be a huge series.
Massive series. And that series, the Bandits Heat, pretty close games all around. Like the Heat were very stiff not to pinch at least one.
Yeah.
Played some good baseball, but Bandits did what good teams do, found ways to win.
Yeah, they did. They did. One other thing, I suppose, a talking point for the weekend was the old tie-break rules again. I know you love it. You
I love the
tie-break
rules.
yes.
It makes me feel like I'm watching softball instead of baseball, which is always good. Apologies to the ladies out there that play softball, and the men, well, anyway.
Different sports.
Yeah, different sports. We're inclusive of all, but yeah, I don't know. To me, it's just not a good way to decide a cracking game of baseball.
It is. It's just not the traditional way of doing it, is it? I mean, if we have to go for 18 innings, so be it. No, maybe not quite what the venues want with their curfews and the like. But
we understand why, but we don't have to like it.
There are reasons, but yeah, still thumbs down on it.
And it was, I guess it's the only way that you can find to beat the hamburger, mate. You got to go outlast, outplay, and outwit.
He can't pitch every inning they play, can he?
Yeah,
he's trying.
A bit like a baseball game of Survivor, just hang in until the end and extra innings, and then pick up. Well, we've got the McArdle double that knocked a couple in for the bite, and that was enough.
Yeah, he's been good, the young fella, for the bite. We were talking about him last week.
Absolutely. Another story in the weekend, a couple of walk-offs. The Bandits did it in style with Logan Wade and Kevin Padlow.
Yes.
Breaking the Heat hearts with some walk-offs.
Yeah, we'll feature a bit more on that later on in the show with the on the Twitterverse.
Absolutely, and stand by, and we will come back with the round wrap. Okay, Clody Von Clodingham. let's talk us through the Melbourne Aces versus Adelaide Bite epic sweep at Melbourne Ballpark.
Well, it was all about the bite, wasn't it? I mean, that they had to win some games to really keep it going, and they did. They came through with all four. We spoke already about extra innings, and Jordan McArdle coming in the clutch. The young fella really came up big.
Yeah, very nice.
That was a two-run double to put him in front, and the big man, Luke Van Mill.
Yeah, just shut it down. He's been fantastic. Hovering around about a lazy 0.5 I think, at the minute.
Had a really good season as an elite closer this year, so be interesting what opportunities he gets outside the ABL.
Put his name out there. He certainly is the best he's pitched since he's come into the league.
Yep.
And I mean, you do that sort of stuff consistently well, which he has. You put your name around the mark. Who knows?
That's it. But he wasn't the only pitcher. Out of the bullpen, Greg Moselle as well was a good young find.
The Tigers' own Greg Moselle. Yeah, no, he was really good in both games he appeared in, and he started to look the goods of late.
Picked up a win in one of the early ones, and Chris Horn, another young guy, got his first ABL win.
First ABL win. Just fantastic for the Bite. Obviously, if they can shore up that bullpen with Moselle coming in, sort of they've got Matty Williams as well, obviously, and then Van Mill. It gives them that sort of three arms to come in and do some damage at the right end of the deal.
With the bats.
What about the bats?
There were some big knocks, none bigger really than Mitch Denning and Josh Altman.
Altman was good. A couple of Johnsons.
Yes.
Very big hits in a couple of games because the Bite were behind in a couple of games, but came through with really big hits. Those guys, just sensational.
Yeah, and big plays with the glove too.
Big plays with the glove. Geordie Cowan again, really good. And for the Aces, I mean, Hamburger was awesome again, but just the extra innings game did him in.
Yeah, and
Joshy Toles is pretty good. A couple of their starters struggled a little bit.
Yeah, that's where the question marks are for the Aces from here on. I mean, you had Gibbons and McGrath start games 3 and 4, both struggled. I mean, you're looking at where Guthrie was, where Honda was. Sorry, does Ruzic move back into a starting role now? I know they've got Virgil Vasquez.
Yeah, hasn't been as good as advertised or in the past certainly. Yeah. And you're right, those two guys. I mean, McGrath, obviously good pitcher, Gibbons good pitcher. Yeah. But they're just sort of they haven't had a lot of work. And that's going to be a very tough ask for Deebs as to who he's going to throw come time for the chocolates.
And you've also got the Vulture still, Josh Tolles. I mean, he was a starting pitcher in the playoffs, the grand final series last year for the Bite, obviously then, so things changed a bit. But there's some options there for Deeble as to what he's going to do, but who knows what it is going to be after the big Hamburger. A few question marks.
I think there'll be a couple of those questions answered this weekend when they take on the Heat.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to keep an eye on the starting rotation, see what happens.
I think so. The other sweep, obviously, was Brisbane versus Perth.
Yeah, the Bandits once again pretty scary with the bat, scored a lot of runs. Logan Wade walk off none other than was a Southpole, who's obviously a very good quality pitcher. Very big for those guys. Mitch Nielsen was awesome again.
Yes. Mitch.
He's been really good, and he's one of those guys that can turn the game in one swing of the bat.
I'll tell you what, you look at someone like Mitch Nielsen, and the other one for me is Aaron Whitefield. I mean, these are two guys that are right in the mix for MVP consideration, I think.
He's been lights out. In fact, there's been talk of him being very highly regarded this year over the minor leagues. Yes. He'll probably get some pretty good support over there.
Got a lot of tools at his disposal.
Yeah, got the tools, and it's going to be really interesting to see how he fares over in the US this year. Ryan Rowland-Smith back in the bump, second week running, looked a little bit sharper, and that augurs well for those guys moving forward.
It's handy for the Bandits. They did a very similar thing last year, bringing in Travis Blackley towards the end of the season. Just a very seasoned quality to come in there and quite possibly being a starting pitcher in the Championship Series.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off some of the other arms, They've had a little bit of struggles. Matty Timms has been up and down a little bit. Even Rhino Searle hasn't been as good. He's still been very good, but not as good as probably has been the previous years. So it takes a bit of pressure off there. Reece Smith, another guy in the bullpen who's been pretty good. But put in RRS, and of course you've got Trent Elgin on the offensive side. Those guys are going to have a big say in what happens in the playoffs if they have a big series this weekend against Canberra.
All these ex-Blue Sox and Aces guys heading up north for a bit of heat for the playoffs.
Absolutely, looking sensational. And finally, which we'll get to in a sec, we've just got to flip the page. We're back for our third series.
Take it from me, one punch can be lethal. Thrown in anger like this, without warning, without any gloves, it can be deadly. One punch can end his life and ruin yours. It takes grunt to throw it, it takes guts to walk away.
Okay, close. And the other big series this week was the Sydney Blue Sox taking on the Canberra Cavalry at Blacktown.
The only non-sweep.
The only non-sweep and very egregious 2-2 split.
Yes, it was. Not a huge, I guess, in terms of the big scheme of things. Canberra got a couple of wins. Sydney aren't going to be a factor now in the playoffs. So it was more a case of, I guess, getting a bit of a gauge on where Canberra are, how they're going to be. Are they going to be legitimate threats?
Yeah.
And you've still got to think they are.
I think so. I think you can probably throw a blanket over the top four, really, can't you? There's not too much in it. Any series can go either way.
Yep.
And Sydney played hard. They came out with a really good winning game 4, which would have given their fans, something to celebrate, finishing what's been a pretty disappointing season for those guys.
Yeah, it has. They certainly would have been looking for more, but I guess the obvious bright spot from the weekend was Luke Wilkins.
Seems good, yeah.
Yeah, complete game, 7 innings, mind you, but a complete game performance. Gave up just the 1 run, which was unearned. So yeah, it's something for him to build on anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So that puts Sydney there cooked. Perth are cooked, leaves us with 4.
Yes.
But wow, it's going to be interesting because those 2 wins for Canberra kept them in 3rd spot, but Adelaide leapfrogged them with their sweep.
Yes.
So it's all up to the Brisbane Bandits this week against the Cavs.
What a series that's going to be. That is going to be huge.
Massive, mate, massive. Even the other series, I mean, Sydney, you can say Sydney and Perth got nothing to play for, but those teams will play with pride and they'll play loose, have their fun. Sometimes when teams play loose and just enjoy themselves,
they can upset apple carts.
Yeah. So Sydney ended up with a 14-21 record coming into this series. Pretty disappointing for those guys. I think at the start of the season we were talking about Brisbane as being probably the class and Melbourne being the class of the series, tournament.
Yep.
I think Melbourne and Brizzy were the big talk of the town. Probably Canberra have done a little bit better than expected. I think Sydney have been fairly disappointing.
I think so, yeah. And I mean, they've always got that high pedigree players at their disposal, and it's just that little bit extra that they need to be up with there with those elite teams, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, and talk about Perth, like 12 and 24, just didn't see that coming. I mean, obviously they're playing a lot of young guys, and the thing is, Luke Hughes has been probably his best season in the ABL played. He's been fantastic. Pitching's been thin. Tommy Boney's been good, but they really struggled to fill out the rotation week after week, haven't they?
That they have, and that's the thing. I mean, Perth, over the course of both versions of the ABL, you just expect them to be a powerhouse.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to see them at the bottom, certainly not what anyone's expecting.
And there's one thing, there's nothing sure that they'll bounce back next year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They won't take that lying down. What are they, 4 and 16 away from home? Yeah. That is just not getting it done.
That's horrendous, isn't it? Yeah. No matter what way you look at it, that's just, you're never going to get anywhere in the standings with some stats like that. But I mean, this weekend going to be huge. We've got Adelaide bye. They need to win 2 of their 4 to confirm a spot in the playoffs.
Yep.
Brisbane, Canberra. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, it gets pretty complicated with those teams. A split means Adelaide needs at least 2, and we'll wait and see what happens. But we'll be back shortly with some tweets of the week.
This is Devin Barker from the Adelaide Bite, and you're watching ABL Hot Corner.
Close!
Tweets
it's time for tweets of the week. Yes, absolutely. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, first off, got my man Clatzy.
Again,
Clatzy,
he loves a tweet.
He's loving a tweet and he's loving the Bandits, so I reckon he's thinking they're going to be a good thing. And he might be right. So Clatzy, actually bigging up one of the Melbourne ex-Adelaide boys, Joshy Toles. He's come up with, can we all just stop and talk about how good of an ABL career, let alone season, Tolesy has had? So he's just dropped in the 2.07 ERA career in the ABL.
Yes, okay.
And 123 Ks in 104 innings, which is pretty magnificent for a dude that just drops the hammer.
The Vulture getting a bit of love from Clatsy there.
The Vulture's been getting some love too, getting some W's as well. Would have been disappointed not to get the W on the weekend.
Possibly the shortest pitcher to have a career ERA that low.
Yeah,
in ABL
you might
history.
be right. You might be on something there, close.
I'm not going to research
He's
it
a
at
champion, little champion. On your Tolsy, well done, and on your Clatsy.
all. Yeah. I got one here from the ABL themselves. Walk-off winner. Logan Wade goes bang.
Oh, it's got like explosions
Yeah,
on it.
little
Yeah,
bang.
explosions. You'll see that on
Logan
the
Wade
screen.
goes
Yeah.
bang, bang. 2 of them in the bottom of the ninth to lift the Bandits over the Heat. And yeah, that little bit of footage there. So ABL getting a little bit of love for Logan Wade.
Bit of love for Logan, and it was a pretty nice piece of hitting. Just left the yard comfortably.
Crushed.
I got one from AJ Mithen saying, what a play from Denning to double off George at second. Don't forget to tag him on fly balls, kids. Hashtag ABL Aces Bite, hashtag etc. etc. Now, this is the final play in game 4 where the ball's hit the bitch in the outfield, and poor old Georgie
Yeah.
was caught a bit napping, doubled off, game over.
Not a good way to do
Not
it.
the greatest thing for the coach to be looking at.
Bit of baseball 101 on that one.
Baseball 101. So well
Yes.
picked up, AJ. Solid work.
Got a new tweeter here that we haven't mentioned before on Tweet of the Week from a young bloke. Got a goatee in the photo. Young Boris Kilpatrick.
What a dud. Absolute dud.
And how's this for a line? Adelaide Bites and Melbourne Aces. Control, Alt, Man, Delete. Baby. Yes.
You don't
Happy
see,
with that one,
you
weren't
don't
you?
see many better tweets than
That was up there.
Good pickup. Well spotted.
Thank you. Yeah, I did my
Yeah.
research and picked that one up.
Fantastic work. And I got one here, just popped up on the timeline,
Yes.
and it's seen to be a dude at the White House. It looks very much like Anthony Rizzo.
I actually think it looks a lot like Carl Stefanovic for me.
Looks a bit like Carl. Not a bad call. We're both pretty smooth looking dudes. As the world champion Chicago Cubs visit the White House, and it's a beautiful thing. Like a kid in a candy store. So cool. Nice job,
Yeah,
Riz.
that would be pretty cool.
And nice job, Cubbies.
Actually, I'll tell you what, there'd probably be a lot of people that would prefer to see him standing there than the current
Then-
man at the moment. We
Well,
won't
it's
get into
probably a fair
politics,
call.
but
I'll tell you what, if they went head to head in a vote, I'm not sure there's any question about who would win.
I think he'd win the Chicago vote.
No doubt about it. Illinois sweep quite comfortably. Okay, that's it for tweets of the week. Don't forget to put your tweets in. You've got a week left. We've still got next week. We're going to bang out some tweets of the week. So get creative, get clever.
Show us
get
what
them
you
in
got.
there. Tag us in. Get us in there. ABL Hot Corner. Let us know what's cooking, and maybe you could be here next week on Tweets of the Week. Big time.
All right.
We'll be back to give our predictions for what they're worth for the final
Another wow.
minor round league
Yes.
game of the year. Stand by. We'll be back shortly.
Shortly.
Okay, clothes. Massive, massive round coming up.
Oh, what a finish to the season.
Massive. It's like bigger than, I don't know, bigger than Texas.
Yeah, pretty
Dan Vaughan would like that one. Bigger than Texas.
Pretty big.
Yeah. Bigger than Nicki Minaj's booty.
Yeah. Keep rolling. What else you got?
Probably should stop there.
Yeah, that's fair cool.
Yeah. Okay,
Baseball.
So, baseball. First up, Brisbane Bandits at the Narrabundah.
Could there be a bigger series of
Canberra
any
Cats.
series this year?
Yeah, so currently Canberra's got them by half a game because Brizzy have a game in hand because of the rain out, which becomes interesting because they need to play that game. Yeah, ABL go to work.
Yeah, have some fun with that. Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you reckon? Bandits at Canberra, massive. Who's going to get it done?
Bandits.
Bandits!
I'm going to say Bandits. I think, I guess at the end of the day, I think they're the better team. And so I'll give them a 3-1 series win and a ticket to the
Golden
top 3.
ticket. Golden ticket. You know
Yeah.
what? I'm right with you.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're agreeing on something.
Yeah, no,
but I agree. I think the Bandits, they're just rolling. The bats are rolling. The bats are hot.
I think
The Nova Bat Company's got Whitefield's bats pumping.
they're working.
They are working. So I'm thinking the Bandits are going to do it 2-3-1. And the Cavs are going to be the unlucky orange losers.
I was about to say, after that, they've had a pretty solid year.
They have.
And
They've done well.
to miss out on the playoffs altogether would be tragedy. But it's I think they're going to miss out.
I've always thought the Bandits would be there, and this is their chance. And I think they get it done.
Yeah, that's it. Other one over in Perth, we have the Aces.
Aces at the Perth
Melbourne
heat.
and Perth.
Melbourne are like, are they going to take the champagne with them, or are they going to get some locally, just from the bottle down the road? And
Is there a little Margaret River vintage they can
bit
find
of
somewhere
a
they make champagne there?
tempting to put it on ice, and maybe they just got to squeeze one game out of the 4. That's pretty much
Well,
all
that's
they have to
it.
do.
That's all they have to do. So whether they can just get game 1, fire up on the champers, and then just,
And then just like,
well, as long as they got goggles, they won't have to wash it all out of their eyes. So
yeah, what's up with it? I'm not a fan of the goggles, mate. It's a little bit soft for mine, the
Yeah.
post-game goggles.
ever since Pedro did it back in the
Pedro
Red Sox
started
days,
it.
that
I
looked a
know.
bit strange.
Yeah, it wasn't too good. So what do you think? Who's going to get up?
I just had a vision of Pablo Sandoval doing it too.
Pavlo biscuits.
He was chunky. Melbourne Aces, Perth Heat. I mean, Melbourne, they will not get swept. They will win a game. They'll go through.
They will.
Whatever happens after that, good luck. to them.
Gravy.
Yeah.
What do you
Let's split it.
Split it?
Yeah, let's
2-2.
sit on the fence and
I'm
be boring.
splitting it too.
Yeah.
2-2.
Why not?
I'm thinking the Perth Heat good enough to win a couple. They've been pretty good at home. I think they've even record at home. So
Oh, it's
that'll
phenomenal.
end them 10-10 at home, which is kind of, you know.
Yeah, the
that
difference
right?
between home and away is crazy. So
Yeah.
let's give them a couple of wins to finish off the year.
Take them a split. Melbourne finish first, as we've pretty much known for quite a while, and they'll get the home finals.
Now, will Adelaide win the 2 games they need to just guarantee themselves a spot?
Tell you what, I think they will.
Mm-hmm.
I think they will. I think at home,
Yeah.
in front of a rabid West Beach crowd, rabid they'll be going nuts.
I
mate.
might have to get down here.
It'll be like, who let the dogs out there? They'll be going nuts. They'll be climbing the rafters.
Boo.
Yeah,
the dogs out.
yeah. Mincy will be loving life,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Sydney won't lie down. Pretty good team.
Oh, they're a great team.
And they
Oh, a great team, obviously, to say that, and they're not going to make the playoffs. They've got some great calibre people there that aren't going to just lay down
they'll challenge.
and not put up a fight. So,
What do we reckon?
I'm saying Adelaide 3-1.
3-1.
Yep.
I've got to do something different, so I'll go the 2-2 split, which will be enough, but won't tell us where they're going to finish depending on the other results. So,
Yes.
yeah, I think a 2-2 split for the bite. I think Sydney will be good enough to pinch at least one. And wow,
So we're basically working on Melbourne Aces, followed by Adelaide Bite, followed by Brisbane Bandits.
Brisbane Bandits. That'll be the 3 teams. That's what we call them.
Yep.
That's what we're calling Bandits.
That sounds like a good
Bandits,
round of playoffs to me.
Bite, and Bases, the Killer Bees.
We've got some good baseball in front of us for the next week or two.
We have. So get down to the ballpark, buy your Viva stuff.
Viva.
Buy some merch, last chance hotel for some of your teams to buy some merch for the off season. Get on down, support your teams, particularly you Bite fans. Get down here to West Beach. Some pretty good deals. Eric Balnar will hook you up. Get on in, he'll hook you up for a pretty good deal.
Hopefully it
Come to
dries
the
out here a
ballpark.
bit before then.
Yeah, well that's if there's any games. It has rain. You know, it's Monday we're recording this, so you know there's a bit of rain on the deck. So quite possibly could be rained out completely. No, it'll be fine. I'm just kidding. Get down to the ballpark, enjoy some fantastic baseball. And for you Perth Heat fans, set up your boys in style. Get down there.
Yep.
And Canberra Cavalry, that place should be pumping.
You don't need a reason to get down there other than get your boys over the line.
Yeah, and shut us up because we've
Yeah.
actually been pretty crap at picking all year. So here's your chance to prove us wrong again
Pretty
by
good omen.
sweeping the Bandits. So until next week when we'll be talking playoffs and who's in and
Wow,
who's out.
already.
This is Brooke Boris Kilpatrick and
Jamie Jang Cloden.